So good afternoon, Edy Liongosari. So I thought that I'm going to take 5 minutes to just talk to you about a piece of work that many of us in Accenture has been actually working for a couple of years, and hope that you can actually come and join us in this particular movement. So just to get started, I just want to get a quick poll. How many of you are in the dinner on Wednesday? Wow, quite a good chunk. All right. How many of you is actually in Paul's Mayor sessions yesterday on the future of AI? Okay, smaller number. Do you see the commonalities between the two? What happened between the two sessions for those of you who actually attend both? At the end of the session, the question on ethics come out. And again, this morning, when we talk about future of AI, ethics come out again. Why? And I like to actually sum it up with the Spider-Man quote by Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. That's actually it's boiled down to. When we talk about powerful tool, that's what it's all about, right? Whether it's about CRISPR, DNA editing, whether it is about AI, that's actually sort of what actually we mean. And I'm quite sure that like many of you who actually sort of look at this space, there's a lot of activities already in SWAL, right? You actually sort of get to the highest level of government all the way down. University, you can go from IEEE to World Economic Forum to OECD in EU and so forth, and this as well, right? There are many of them. But if you actually sort of read any of those, it's actually sort of pretty thick book. It's like a reading Bible. At the end of the day, it's actually sort of very hard to decipher what should I do Monday morning. Yeah, we can actually talk about it like this morning on all the philosophical aspect of what happened to singularity, what happened to actually sort of job displacement. But reality is that AI is already here. People are using it, specifically on machine learning. So are they going to wait until everything settles down before actually the ethics issues being addressed? The answer is no. So many of our clients are sort of coming to us saying that, help us actually sort of decipher this. Now, we're not going to try to decipher all the pieces there, knowing full well that many of our clients are not the robots maker, and or sort of go to the AI technology specifically. Many of them they're banks, they're insurance company, the manufacturing, retail, and so forth. They want to use AI technology. They want to be able to make their operation much more effective, much more efficient. But in the process, they also want to be able to address the ethical issue. Okay? So one of the things that, we started this journey a couple of years ago. We actually sort of start from the very much sort of a top-down, what actually really mean by actually have what we call responsible AI, right? We come up with very simple thing. We're going to try to boil the ocean, only 4 things, okay? One is transparency. I think it's actually John Madison actually sort of talked about it earlier. It's basically we talk about transparency at a broad scale, right? So starting from where do you get this information? When you actually get a consent from your user, your customer, do they know exactly what kind of consent? So the informed consent, right? Where's actually that the data is actually going to be used? Look at it almost like a data supply chain, if you will, end to end, all the way to how actually that data is combined, reused, create a model, all the way to the application. So that's actually sort of one aspect of transparency. The other one, we actually sort of briefly mentioned around fairness, right? Data is inherently biased, so let's actually not talk about whether bias is actually sort of a bad thing. In fact, the reason why machine learning works is because the data has some biases in it. But we want actually to make sure that there is no unintended biases actually sort of out there. Raise that out, right? To make sure that's actually sort of the decisions that you make. And then the other one is accountability. Somebody in the organization has to be actually sort of accountable for the work that they do as actually they deploy that. Not actually sort of all the pieces when actually you try to distribute all the responsibility across, then you don't have actually sort of any one person actually responsible, and we're going to end up to the BMW questions later on, right? And then the other part's actually around agency, right? So around the people still very much center on the equation. The AI is about amplifying the efficiency, the effectiveness of a human. How to make that work. So under just 4 of those principles, I can sort of break it down to say, okay, what does it really mean? How do you operationalize it? Now, I'm going to not boil down everything, but basically we boil down to actually sort of 4 dimensions. So you see 4 and 4. So one is actually at the organization and governance. It has to come top down.
Edy, you're doing an amazing job, and we have 5 minutes left, and I think we need to let David talk. So if you want to hear more about the...
All right. So basically, what I'm going to leave you to is actually sort of 4 aspects of it. One is on organization and governance. The other one is culture and the people. The third one is on the process. And obviously, at the base layer that can enable all of this is the technology.
Awesome.
With that,
thank you so much.
Thank you.